Well, hey folks, and welcome to Solar Cabin Channel. Hey, I'm getting started on my spring projects, and this spring, one of my first projects I want to work on is I'm going to build a mudroom and space for my Japanese hot tub and bathing tub off of my back porch. I discussed that in another video. I actually got the idea from one of the viewers on my channel as to how to deal with my back porch, because my back porch tends to get that back door is on the north side, tends to get cold, and so by adding a small room on the back of that, it will block off some of the cold temperature, add another layer of insulation around that back door, and it will give me a nice place when I come in to take off my my wet and snowy clothes, my boots and stuff like that. So that's called a mudroom. But I also found another use for it, and that is I'm going to put in my Japanese hot tub. Because one of the things I really regret about this cabin is when I built it, I included space for a tub, but then I got in a hurry and I got given a base for a shower, and I put that shower in instead of putting in a tub. And I really regret that because I love taking a bath, and it's really good for my back and my knees to soak in some Epsom salts or whatever. And so I'm going to have a tub in this cabin. So what I'm going to do in here, and I'll show you what the project is going to be. It's going to take me a few days because I've got to do some work to get it prepared for that. Got to collect the materials and supplies. But I think this is a really good project because any little small structure you built like this is built the same way as you build a house. So that's what I'm going to walk you through here is we can build this same structure the same way, and if you understand how it's constructed, you can build your own tiny house or any structure shed that you want because they're all built basically the same way. So here's the supplies and materials that I've got so far. Okay folks, so this is what I am planning on building off of the back of my cabin, which is the north side of my cabin. I already have an existing door that is 3 feet wide. So this opening here is going to fit over that 3-foot door. Now I show this as a 6x4, but I've actually decided to go 8x4. So it will be longer because I need a little bit more room in order to open the door up, and also it will allow me to use my existing 3x3 windows. So what this is going to be is going to be a mudroom and a place for my Japanese style hot tub and bathing tub. And it's going to have a door on the outside so that I can go in and out from my cabin, and then my door here that goes on my cabin wall opens out exterior. So I'll be able to come in and hang up my winter coat and put my boots away out here when I'm out feeding the stock, and then I can come back in the cabin. And because this is on the north side, this door on my cabin tends to be cold and has a little bit of a draft. So by putting this insulated room over this door, I should add some wind protection to keep the draft down and keep some of the cold out of the cabin. So it's that benefit to the cabin. But then it also gives me a place for a tub because I don't have a tub in my cabin. I only have a shower. So I'm going to put a water trough tub in here that I've already used for a hot tub, and I'm going to plumb that separately from the house. And it has enough room to be used either as a hot tub or as a regular bathing tub. And I'm going to do this in Japanese style because I always love the Japanese style, with a simple wooden bench. And then because this will be a little bit longer here than what it actually shows you, I will have some coat rack hooks up here. So when I come in, I can hang my coat up and put my boots underneath the bench. And then I can come inside the house so I can leave my snowy stuff out here in this mudroom to keep that stuff out of the house so it's not dripping all over the place. And then I can go in at any time I want because this is insulated. I'll be able to take a nice hot bath, which I really miss in my place. And I designed this. I already have 2 existing 3x3 windows. So there will be a 3x3 window here, 3x3 window here, and then I've got a really nice view of the mountains back behind my cabin that I've always wanted to be able to use. And so I'll be able to lay here in my hot tub, drink a beer, and look out at the mountains and enjoy nature. Now, I designed a couple of mock-ups because I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to build this. And so it's actually going to be 4 foot by 8 foot. This is showing 4 foot by 6 foot, but you'll get the idea. And then I did a mock-up first of just flat walls so that I could figure out where I wanted everything and how it would look. And then I did this in SketchUp with my framing so that I could actually show, whoops, I don't hit the wrong thing, so that I could actually show the framing. And I want to be able to figure out how much material I'm going to need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this out of 2x6 material for the floor, 2x4s on the walls, and that will allow me to put R13 insulation in the walls, which is the cheapest insulation. Then I already have the existing 3x3 doors, And I'll show you I already got some other material today. I have most of this material except for the lumber. I already have most of the material and equipment that I need for this mudroom. Alright, so that's what I plan on building off. And then this will have a shed style roof. I don't show it with the roof, but this will have a shed style roof that will extend out with an eave over at about a foot, and then it will extend up this direction and connect it on this wall. And this will be a freestanding unit. Probably use metal roofing unless I, if I can find some asphalt roofing that matches what I already have in the cabin, I'll try and find that. If not, I can find some cheap metal roofing, usually extras that are left over from some bigger project. My budget for this is $300. I'm trying to stay way under that, so I'm already scrounging around for materials, and that's what I'm plan to do to keep this down to under my budget of $300. All right, so let's go look at the materials that I already have scrounged up for this project. Okay, folks, so this is what I already have in the way of materials. I've already got this tub, and pull out my tape measure here, and it is, I measured it once, it is 31 inches wide, and and 40 inches, so it's 40 inches, 31 inches wide and 40 inches long. So that will fit inside, I've already figured it out, it will fit inside a 4-foot wide room. Just barely, leaving just a little bit of room to slide it in. And so that will fit in perfectly, and then I'm going to surround it with a wood board to make it all fancy and everything like that. That's my plans anyway, okay? And maybe put some rocks. I'm doing this in Japanese style, so I'm going to put some rocks and things around it. So it looks kind of like a horse trough right now, but when I get done with it, it will look like a Japanese bathtub, hot tub. So that's the plan. It already has a drain hole down there in the bottom. Now, the other materials that I already have, that I've scrounged before, I have these 2 big windows. They're 3 by 3 foot windows. And I bartered, when I was doing pest control, I bartered the lady for 6 of those windows, because they had just replaced all their windows, and they had them sitting against the side of their house. I'm like, what are you going to do with those windows? She says, we don't know. We don't have any place what to do with them. And they didn't want to sell them. I said, well, I'll just barter you for some pest control. And I took 6 windows for a pest control treatment. So I basically got them for free. And they both have screens in them, so they're sliding windows and the screens. A little dirty. They need to be cleaned up and everything like that. So no way, I don't have to buy any windows. I already got those. And then just today, my neighbor next door, he did some remodeling last year, and he bought this door and then never did use it. And it was actually a new door, but he let it sit outside, and so now it's got, the paint's kind of all got scuffed off of and everything like that. But that's just the perfect size, because I didn't want a really big door. I'm not exactly sure. See how wide this is. It's a 30-inch door. So it's a 30-inch door that I got for free from my neighbor, and it's already got 2 hinges and the doorknob on it, so I don't even have to buy hinges and doorknobs. So that's an excellent thing there, and I really appreciate my neighbor just giving me that, because it was just sitting outside. It was just going to rot if he left it sitting out there. I seen it, and I said, hey, what would you do with that door? So what talked him out of that. Now, I did have to buy some materials, and my budget for this project is under $300, and I'm hoping to come way under that, but $300 is what I budgeted for. So I went and bought some new materials just to get started. I've got 6 2x6x8s for my floor framing, and I've got 6 deck block that are designed to hold a 2x6 for the floor framing. Those are the same deck blocks that I used to build my entire cabin, so I know that they're very strong and will hold the weight. And then up on top, I've got a 4x8 sheet of OSB, and I got a cheaper price on the tongue and groove than I did without the tongue and groove, even though I didn't need the tongue and groove for the floor. I'll probably have to cut off that little lip, but I got it for $2 cheaper than the other, so I saved a little bit of money. And up there is a 4x8 sheet of OSB, and that's for my floor. So I've got enough materials there now to get started on the floor for the mudroom and bathhouse. And I'll build the floor, and then tomorrow is Sunday, Easter Sunday actually, and I'm going to go out scrounging, because most of the businesses here close on Sunday. Excuse me. So I'm going to go dumpster diving and see what materials I can come up with that I don't have to buy at all. And if I can keep this down around under $300 and closer to $200, I will be a very happy person, because that's a good deal. I've already saved myself a bunch of money there. I also have an EcoTemp water heater that I will be using for this, and if needed, a SureFlow pump, but I don't think I'm going to need the pump. because it's I've already got a free-flowing well, and what I'm going to do is hook up, which I'll show you back here. And this is my project for today. I've got to get all these trees that fell down from this limb. I've got to get all these limbs out of here. Oh, Teddy. And my porch is going to be right back here. So I'm going to run it probably 4 feet past the door here, and then another 4 feet, so it'll go just over the door about a foot. The other direction, that direction. So about 4 feet this direction, and 1 foot past it there, and it'll go up and over the door and that way. So my well, it just happens to be my well is free flowing and runs right there. And what I'm going to do is hook up a 3-way valve on that so that I can run a hose directly off of that into an EcoTemp. And it's got enough pressure there that it will flow directly into my EcoTemp water heater. And then I'll hook that on this outside wall probably with a small propane tank and plumb that into the tub, and that way I can heat my tub separately from my system that's in the house. That way, if something happens and I don't want to have this hooked up into the house, because they may cause me problems if I do that. One of the things that you have to remember is building codes are different in every state. Some places, if you build on a structure or connect it into a structure, then you have to go and tell them you have to follow codes and get a permit in order to do it. This is going to be a freestanding structure, basically its own isolated structure, separate, not attached to the house. That way I don't have to get a permit because it's under the required limit of 200 square feet for a shed. So basically I'm building a small shed next to my house that will go over my door that will also be a mudroom and a bathtub. Okay, so that's what I've got done so far today. I'm going to go ahead and get all these trees and limbs out of here so I can start working and have a clean area. And this is actually my dog's yard and chicken coop. There's the 2 chickens sitting over there. We'll get a close-up of them. There's the 2 chickens hanging out, wondering what I'm doing, if I'm going to feed them. And they've got their chicken coop here, and I keep it right behind the house because it makes it easier for me to come out in the wintertime, because we get some heavy snow here. It makes it easier for me to come out and check on them. All the plastics kind of got ripped off over the winter, so I need to rip all the rest of it off and get it ready for summer for them to use, so they'll lay their eggs in there. And I just free-range my chickens. But this is also my dog yard, and that's Tazzie's dog. It's an old shell off of a truck. That's her dog house over there. And she stays back here in all year long, except in wintertime I bring her in to sleep. And so this is her yard, but I need to clean it up. As you can see, it's a mess. So I want to really do something with this backyard and clean it up at least. And then I might just isolate her to 1/2 of this yard and do this other half of the yard in like a Japanese garden style. Since I've already got a water feature there, I might do this back half of this yard. Now I'm getting excited, but you know, I won't get all this done this year. I'm at least going to get this bathroom built off the back side of the house. That's the main thing, and get these limbs and trees out of here today. But then I can start thinking about what I'm going to do to design this backyard and maybe do it in Japanese style and kind of fix it up nice. Alright folks, that's all I'm going to do today, and tomorrow I'll show you the floor framing. We'll get that done after I've got all these limbs out of here. Alright.